केशव हरिनारायण अच्युत केशव हरिनारायण भवभयहरण वंदित चरण भवभयहरण वंदित चरण रघुकुल भूषण राजीव लोचन रघुकुल भूषण राजीव लोचन आत्मा रामा आनंद रमणा अच्युत केशव हरिनारायण आदिनारायण अनंत शयना आदिनारायण अनंत शयना सच्चिदानंद श्री सत्यनारायण सच्चिदानंद श्री सत्यनारायण आत्मा रामा आनंद रमणा अच्युत केशव हरिनारायण भवभयहरण वंदित चरण रघुकुल भूषण राजीव लोचन भवभयहरण वंदित चरण रघुकुल भूषण राजीव लोचन आत्मा रामा आनंद रमणा अच्युत केशव हरिनारायण अच्युत केशव हरिनारायण.
Namaste to everyone. Let's start the session with Om chanting as well as Sahana Vavatu. Let's all sit comfortably wherever you're sitting. Close your eyes. Allow yourself to settle down. Observe the body contact on your chair or wherever you're sitting. Observe your breath for some time. Tune into your breath. Keep observing the breath, the inflow and the outflow. Keep observing. Let's all chant 3 rounds of Om. Breathe in. Join your palms to Namaskara Mudra. Let's start with Om Sahana Vavatu prayer. If anyone knows the prayer, please chant along with me. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Gently bow down, bow to the gurus, to your parents, to the Supreme Consciousness. Be grateful for this wonderful day. Gently come up, rub your palms well, cup your eyes and pass the warmth to your eyes. blink open your eyes whenever you're ready. Hari Om and good evening to everyone present here today. And we are very, very glad to have two personalities here, Dr. Mayur and of course our dear Raghuramji. Dr. Mayur, Dr. Mayur, neurosurgeon. Dr. Mayur is a neurosurgeon and working in HCG hospital. He's a head and spine surgeon to say exactly. And he's been in this field for several years, and there's been lots of achievements in his academic section. As you all would have read about his intro, which I had posted, there have been numerous achievements from his end in the medical field for many years, and he has treated so many people in the field of neurology area. In the field of yoga, he has been exposed to yoga abhyas and all the concepts itself from childhood. That was what was informed by me, by Vijaya itself, that he has had this exposure since childhood, and that is one of the reasons that has pulled him again back to the roots itself once he has established in the medical area. So he finished his yoga therapy courses in Vyasa and has been a therapist for several years. And what he has done is he has mixed both the yogic concepts as well as his academic, the medical allopathic, the knowledge, and he has combined both, and that's how he has been treating and healing, to say, making a difference in people's lives. This is what he's been doing all these years. Even in his hospital where he is working, he's been encouraged to do yoga therapy healing to the patients, and not only follow the allopathic session. And that, I think, is a wonderful thing provided by the HCG management also, because not every management agrees to introduce a holistic healing along with an allopathic healing. So that is really an incredible contribution by the HCG management. I really applaud them for that. And we have heard several videos of Dr. Mayur talking about so many concepts, and today we are glad that he's here and he's going to talk about neuroscience and yoga. When he mentioned this topic to us, we were wondering how come neuroscience and family coming here. Where is that coming here? And I am also curious to know how is he combining both. And when I talked this to my family, everyone had a curiosity look that how can neuro come with family? What is the relation here? So I think everyone here who has joined have come with that inquisitive kind of understanding. Okay, let us know what Dr. Mayur is going to be talking about. And as you all know, Raghuramji here, we all know very, very well. We respect him. He's our guru. He's our mentor. He's the founder of Yogabharati. And what else more I can say? There'll be very less if I could say. If we could just, put it in a nutshell. So I do not want to put things in a nutshell here. So many of you have already met him, have already listened to his lectures and everything. So today is like a casual conversation between Dr. Mayur and Raghuramji. So I will just hand over the platform to them and let them, take it forward. I think Dr. Mayur or Raghuramji, whoever wants to start the session, just let me know so that you could unmute yourself and talk. Thank you so much.
Namaste Mayur, namaste everybody.
Namaste.
And
Namaste everybody.
thank you, Prabha. Nice, wonderful introduction. So welcome you all for this session. And yes, as Prabha rightly put it, I am also very curious to know that what is this connection between the neurosciences and all that and the family, and in what angle that Dr. Mayur is such an extraordinary capable hand is going to bring about. So let us first listen to Dr. Mayur, and then after that, then I will try to give my ideas and all that, and then we try to converse. It's not the question of that only one person is talking. Let's give ideas. And another thing is, I was just glancing through some of his slides, and the slides themselves are very interesting. So I'm also eagerly waiting for Mayur to give the presentation. Yes, Dr. Mayur, floor is for you.
Dhanyavad, Raghuramji. Namaste everybody. I met Raghuramji in December in Esvyasa for the Incofira conference, and there in few seconds our chemistry sparked, and through that we spoke almost for 2.5 hours. After that, we met other delegates in the conference as well, and we discussed how I treat my patients with the knowledge of yoga and neuroscience. And I had presented him few cases also where surgical intervention was required, and without surgical intervention, we could treat the patient only through yoga therapy. So this will be a glimpse of how we can combine the spiritual knowledge, the ancient spiritual knowledge, to the current modern medical knowledge. So it will be a yoga of ancient scriptures and modern medical knowledge. Okay, so I would like to share my slides with you all, and then I will speak. Are you seeing the slides? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, fine. So I will start. I need to see messages also. I want people to participate in this, and I want to see the messages. How can I see messages, Prabhaji?
There is chat, you press on the chat,
Yeah.
the window will open.
For me, it is okay.
Next to share screen.
Chat. Okay. I am able to see now.
And then
So
put
please,
the chart on one side so that.
Yes, I am getting it now. Yeah, I got it. So please, all participants, please answer so that it will be great for all of us to interact. Even if you are muted, you can type and you can interact. Okay. So now what are you seeing? This is my second slide. What are you seeing here? Are you able to see anything? Nothing. Nothing. Blank. Yes. Very nice. No, nothing you are able to see. Now, what are you seeing? Atom, circles, very nice. So it's an atom of hydrogen. Hydrogen is the simplest element we know, correct? There is one proton, and then surrounding that there is one electron which is revolving around. Okay? And this simplest of the atom is the building unit of this whole universe. This, for me, is a family. It's the family of one proton and one electron. Now, what does this family do? Can you see here? This family contains some different kinds of isotopes, which are known as deuterium, tritium, and which fuse and form helium, energy, and neutron. Do you know where does this happen? Are you aware of it? Yes, it happens on the sun. So this family is continuously into business of building energy. And this energy is the ultimate source for all of us. You know that? Not only light, but also life. Correct? Now, because of this energy coming down on this planet, because of, yes, this is called as fusion reaction, very nice. I will be happy whenever you are sending the chat. I will be happy to see your chat. I am continuously seeing your chat, so I will be happy to see your interaction. Very nice. So what is going on? Because of billions of years of exposure of these energies, suddenly 3.8 billion years ago, what happened? there was spark of life, and the single cell was created. Over a period of further few billions of years, these life forms, they became complex, and now we see millions and millions of species of life. Almost around 8 million different species are there on this planet right now. Not only us, there are 8 million different species. So you can see here, from sun we got sunflower. Okay, so this is the farm for sunflower. Now from that sunflower, we know that this reaction which happens within the plants because of chloroplast and because of carbon dioxide and the sunlight entering, what happens? The water gets split. The water is absorbed from the soil and the minerals are absorbed, and through that, what happens? There is formation of carbohydrates and oxygen. As we know, oxygen is very, very important for all of us. Even for 7 to 8 minutes, if oxygen is not available, the brain will stop functioning. Okay, so this is very, very important process through which rest, so many lives are dependent on this process. Okay, now this is all science, correct? From that sunflower, what do we get? Sunflower oil. And that sunflower oil is used to make very nice recipes like gulab jamun. Okay, and then here is the advertisement. Advertisement is focused on what? Family. My family loves the food I make, the daughter-in-law says, and everybody is happy to enjoy those gulab jamuns. The energy which is there in the gulab jamun, the sweetness which is there in the gulab jamun, is actually derived from single source, that is the sun. And the sun, what is happening at that point? There is fusion of hydrogen atoms, because of which we are deriving this kind of nutrition. So all of you are with me. Do you agree with all these things? Yes. So it means that each and every atom in the universe is connected and is contributing to each and every other atom's existence. Not only atom, when atoms fuse, they form molecules, and when molecules fuse, they form complex molecules, and they form biological forms like us, which contain trillions and trillions of cells. Okay, so here we have the mantra which is there in Maha Upanishad. Ayam nijah paro veti ganana lagu chetasam udar charitanam tu vasudhaiva kutumbakam. The meaning also is written here. What is written? This is mine, this is theirs. This is the tendency of people who have contracted mindset. And opposite to that, the people who have wide understanding, like we developed in previous slides. उदार चरित वाले लोगों के लिए यह संपूर्ण धरती, नॉट ओनली ये धरती पर पूरा ब्रह्मांड ही एक परिवार के जैसा होता है. So it means that Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, we have to understand from atomic level till our complex existence. Okay, very nice. So now here we come. So how our ancestors were understanding and executing Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. For many of the people on this planet, this might be mythology. But if it would have been mythology, then how so much of detailed description is available about this kind of coexistence in the scriptures. Okay, you can see here Ardhanarishwar. You can see the Ardhanarishwar here, and they have their own ornaments in the form of serpent, ornament in the form of moon, ornament and a vehicle in the form of Nandi, here Vyaghra, here you can see peacock, here you can see elephant, here you can see a rat, a mouse. It means that when we are worshipping deities, we are understanding the concept of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. This concept is very much contemporary also, and we know that we are suffering because we are trying to dominate the ecosystem. We are not ready to enjoy the cohabitation. We are trying to dominate the ecosystem. That is why we are suffering through this pandemic. Coming down to this, Sri Krishna, see, equal amount of love is given to the calf also. Here there is one more peacock, and the ornament, the head is also decorated with peacock feather. So we have always been enjoying the cohabitation, where we are not only understanding only human beings as our family members, we have always been understanding each and every living creature as our family members. Okay. So now, do you think that in 21st century these kind of things are not available? They are available. I always would like to keep positive examples in the mind, because what we want is positive reinforcement. We cannot again and again think of, oh, this is not available, that is not available, the world is completely going down. No, in this 21st century, in Kali Yuga also, we have great people like these. His name is Mr. Madhusudan Rao and his family. They live in Madhugiri, Ramadevara Betta, and he has been taking care of Surabhi Goshala, which is 150 kilometers from here. And there is a Gufa, cave of Agatsya Muni and Bhagwan Sri Ram, where they had done Shiva Abhishekam. Area has been preserved and flourished by him, and there are almost around 129 different types of medicinal plants which he has grown there. One, and he has treated thousands of cows. Now here is the twist. Everybody will take care of the cow for the milk and the milk products. Here, he has taken care of the cows which are physically handicapped, which are mentally challenged, the cows which have eaten plastic and they are disabled. Thousands of cows like that, he cannot take milk from them because the cows are already malnourished. They cannot milk. So he only uses the cow urine and the cow dung, Gaumutra and Signi, through which he is taking care of all the forest area there, and he has flourished 129 different types of plants which are of medicinal value. I recommend all of you to go through this video. My video is there. Its name is Parushya, means harshness. It's one of the Asuri Sampat. And this video was taken 2 or 3 weeks back. You can go and see on my channel, where Madhusudanji will introduce his work also. Now, so it means that as a human being, what happens is we are having many roles to play. This was what told to me by Vijaya ji, who is the Yogabharati member, and she told me that we have many roles to play. What exactly is happening in our brain, and how do we play these roles without any problems? So there are many roles, like role of a son, role of father, mother, brother, sister, husband, wife, teacher, student, doctor, patient, citizen, ruler, fanatics, spiritual, and above all, our most important role is of human being. I would say only one thing. If you are able to make yourself a great role model for everybody around you, then you have achieved the best possible role. And how to become that role model is already being described in our scriptures through Vedas, through Upanishads, and through Yoga Sutras, also through Bhagavad Gita. The only problem is the transformation of theoretical knowledge to the practicality. And for that, we all know, if we want to live, we have to breathe. If we want to live, we have to eat. If we want to live, we have to rest also. The same way, if we want to realize our highest self, and if we want to make our existence worthwhile on this planet, then we have to become a good role model for all the human beings and all the animals and plants around us. Okay? Now, I have a case vignette, and this is the reality. Means this is the reality of all of us. There might be some correlation between this case vignette and our own life. Okay, this was, you know, I just WhatsApped this concept. Then yesterday, one of my uh, friends and one of my like yoga seeker, she messaged that, sir, this is the problem with my life. Can you speak about this? I told, definitely, I will be happy to do that. And it was narrated by the lady herself. She is a Brahmin, well-to-do family. I have not had a daughter. Okay, fine, I will definitely do that. Okay, so this is the daughter which we are going to talk about. She is only single, means only daughter, married to a good person, and she has a son. Her parents and in-laws both are not ready to take care of and help the grandkid. Her close family members, like uncles, they drink alcohol and have been, abusing the family again and again. Her parents and in-laws are not involving in the rearing of the grandkid. Here, as the lady is willing for everybody to chip in and rear the grandkid, but they are not. Because of frustration, sometimes she is hitting the kid and feels guilty. But after joining my YouTube videos, she has stopped. But overall, because of these negative experiences, what is happening to her is she is becoming indifferent to her and her family members, both parents and in-laws, and she is numb towards them now. Okay, so I want your opinion that what should be her approach towards this situation, and we will see how we can try to improve her situation. Okay, so I want your opinion about this situation. No expectation. Very good. Expectations should not be there. Expectations lead to disheartening results. Okay, very nice. Raghuramji also can tell something. If take responsibility. She has been taking great responsibility, accepting the fact. Very nice. She is taking responsibility. She is nicely doing her job, but somewhere she wants that, cultural phenomenon where the child bonds with the grandparents. That is not happening. Try to understand what is going on in her mind. Yes, my child, my responsibility. Oh, now it has become flooded. Okay, fine. I will read this later on, definitely. Be detached and continue her good work. She is right. Kids and need grandparents. Yes, this is the one. She is absolutely fantastic. She is a professional. She is not running away from her responsibility. She wants that grandparent to grandkid bonding, which is not happening. Here, the grandparents do not want that responsibility. Her own mother, I have not written this, but I will tell you, her own mother is telling that enough of, I have stayed here for 20 days. I want to go back to the village. Now you call your mother-in-law and let your mother-in-law take care of the grandkid. So use energy to take herself and family. When nothing works from outside, inner voice gives the strength. Okay. Yes, the husband is very helpful. He has never created any kind of trouble for her, and he loves her very much. She also loves him very much. Everything is fine, but somewhere I think she's stuck between the grandparent and the grandkid kind of phenomenon. So from where the grandparents have started withdrawing themselves, that is what we need to understand. Okay. So I will definitely convey her that you have given some beautiful advices. Now we'll move on to the next slide. Yes, even if short periods of contact, if financially well off, then take external help. That I will not endorse. Okay, now we will move on to the next slide. Now, there were some questions which were asked on the WhatsApp when I put up this lecture. Then, yes, so this question was asked by Vijayaji, many roles, how to let go. So, always we have this theoretical knowledge of Yama Niyama, Swadhyaya, Tapasa, Ishvara, Pranidhana, but we have to learn to practice it. We have to learn where we are not able to click. So in few slides, you will know that which part of the brain helps you. Okay. So in few slides, I will be coming to the brain part. Don't worry. So likes and dislikes of the family members. So here it is very, very important for all of us to have group discussions and satsang, all these things regularly. Okay, regularly is very, very important word here. Children, how to rear them? This is very important question, because the business of the family, you saw the business of hydrogen atoms was to fuse and then create energy and helium. Okay, that is what is the role of hydrogen. Same way in our families, our role is to fuse, create the next generation. Okay, so in that what we are missing is the in-depth knowledge of Shodasa Sanskaras, and where one of the most important Samskara is Garbha Sanskara, which I think many of the nuclear families are not able to follow. So let us see whether we can learn it over a period of time. Yoga with family. It was a suggestion by Shiv Shankarji, who is well known to me, and he is a very senior person. He told that this year's the concept of yoga at home and yoga with family is very beautiful concept through which we can enjoy our roles and we can enjoy our bonding at a spiritual level. Very nice point was given by Shiva Shankarji. Bad habits in children, how to do that? Yes, here we need professional help, and here we need patience also. So scolding and beating does not help. I will show you why it does not help through neuroscience. Okay, sudden jumping into conclusions to be avoided. It was a very beautiful suggestion by one more senior person, Murthy ji, who told that we as a family member should not jump into conclusions and try to spoil the relationship. Okay, before concluding, we need to have a deeper introspection. Swadhyaya needs to be done. This Maithili ji, I really, this question is baffling her also and baffling me also. But why usually grandparents are very fond of grandchildren? Why they are not? Yes, and they are healthy. They are not. They are taking care of the farmland and all. Everything is going on. But I don't know. There is some ego issue or something. We don't know. One video is shared by Sunita ji from the WhatsApp group. I will show that video at the end. Yes, this will come. This will come. Anger management, all these things slowly, slowly. And I think about that, Raghuramji will be a better person to speak. So, this is the question. No, practicing is very, very important. Theory, all of us know, but practice is very, very important. Where is the practice? If practice is not there, all the theory will know is of waste. Okay. So first and foremost, very important is to change our outlook. Like today in the initial slides, you understood. Maybe you would have read all these things, but connecting all these things and trying to experience that every morning when you look at the Surya, every morning when you look at it, and then you feel that energy coming through the fusion of hydrogen atoms, that experience is very, very important. That practice is very, very important. That is why in our culture, every day we do Surya Namaskara and Surya Ardhya. Okay, so now how to practice Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam? Selflessness. At least to 3 people every day, you should practice selflessness initially to start with, to develop that habit. Once you develop habit, automatically the selflessness will become your way of living. Get rid of the selfishness. Watch yourself. At least catch yourself 3 times whether you are being selfish or not. Okay? Then awareness. Awareness will come with practice. Slowly, slowly, as you become more and more aware, automatically the ignorance will go down. Get rid of the ignorance. Responsibility. Take responsibility. If you take responsibility, you will come to know that yes, there are so many things which need to be done. And as you saw, Madhusudanji has taken responsibility of the animal which can never repay him in any form. Correct? But there is some sort of selflessness associated with, awareness associated with it, and there is his responsibility that he thinks that these animals also have life, and we need to create a better practice of nurturing of the environment. Okay, and one thing which I think Venkatji asked, and the answer is here only: relationships have become more complex in modern times. Why? The answer is we are trying to put ourselves first in the relationship. The people who talk about rights again and again, this is my right, that is my right, I have the right to ask you, I have the right to tell you, I have the right to, not to cook food for you, I have the right to sleep, anything, any kind of thing. I have the right not to, make you happy, any kind of thing. That right thing which comes is the most absolute wrong thing in the relationship. In the relationship, what needs to be put first is our responsibility towards our partner or towards any other family member we have. And when we have Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam as our line of, understanding, then at that point our responsibilities are very, very high. We cannot think of our rights. Okay, because a very responsible family member will take care of all the family members without expectations. Okay, now coming to the next one. So what are the characteristics of good family? What are the characteristics of a good family? Happiness should be there in each member, but that should not be like a project that no, I have to make this family member happy. No, it should not be a project. It should be a spontaneous phenomenon. Friendliness, maitri, compassion, karuna, creativity, responsibility, productivity, and high moral values, and unconditional love. Unconditional love is very, very important. Without unconditional love, that is selflessness. Unconditional love means selflessness. Without unconditional love, all the above things also will not stay for a longer time. Okay. So now, I think for this, all of you might be waiting, correct? Neuroscience of family. But I had to create a background. I had to create some sort of, understanding that, yes, these are the things which we need to understand. So here, brain is just 1.5 kg here. And there are 100 billion neurons. Now, one neuron on an average one neuron on an average, it gets connected to 7,000 other neurons. Why these things are important, you will come to know. By the age of 3 years, by the age of initial 3 years, why I took that grandparent grandkid example also is very important. By the age of 3 years, the brain achieves 90% of its adult size. Okay. Now what's happening? In the initial period, during these initial 3 years, there are 700 to 1000 connections happening during this period per second. Just imagine, it's a very critical period of life. So when a personality is getting formed, it is that initial 3 years period. What is happening at that time? If we throw our children, I am using this word, throw our children in front of the mobile or in front of the TV, actually we are destroying these potential 700 to 1000 connections per second. Children need love. Children need attention. Children need that warmth of mother, father, uncle, auntie, grandmother, grandfather, sibling, everybody. With that, the creativity of each and every person gets absorbed. There is something called as osmosis. You all might be knowing it. Absorption. Okay. Absorption of all these positive qualities of all people around the child, all the positive experiences help the child to connect these 700 to 1000 connections per second. That is how the child will become normal. If these things don't happen, then all of you know nowadays we are hearing lots and lots of children are developing ADHD. What does it mean? Attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, autism spectrum disorder, mental retardation, so many different things which are happening, antisocial behavior, not knowing how to socialize. Today morning only one news has come. I think all of you might have read also. Some 16-year-old girl, TikTok star, she committed suicide. Why this happens? Why these suicidal tendencies? The age group at which diabetes is arriving, hypertension is arriving, the age group at which cardiac events are happening, anxiety disorders, stress disorders in the adulthood, all these things, they are linked to these initial 3 years of life. There is a beautiful paper which has come up, and it says that these initial 3 years make up for all the diseases, both physical and mental, in a person. Okay, so that is why now you see family. When we say a family, when a husband and wife is there, we say couple, correct? When we say they have become a family, when the newborn has come, and at that point, at that juncture, the knowledge transfer is important, and the culture has to progress, and the personalities have to evolve. Am I available?
Yes, yes.
Are you able to hear me?
Very much.
Okay, okay, fine. No, there is some connection issue here. Once again, it's showing like that. Okay, fine, no problem.
Your video and audio both are fine, Mayur.
Yeah. Okay, okay. So now I will move on to the further chemistry, the neurochemistry of all the things which happen with us and how we form families. One is lust, which is a very inferior kind of bonding, which happens because of the sex hormones. Okay, which happens because of the sex hormones. It's a very temporary, and I will come to the brain part also. Then here, there is something called as attraction. We want some person again and again in our life. That happens because of this neurotransmitter which is called as dopamine, and that is called as attraction. Okay, and that is happening in hypothalamus. Now, when we bond beyond the physical level, at that time there is bonding through oxytocin and vasopressin. That is called as attachment. May it be your friends, may it be your father, may it be your mother, anybody. The long-term attachment and that stability which comes in the relationship, it comes because of the hormone which is known as oxytocin and vasopressin. Okay. Now, if you see in the brain, this is prefrontal cortex. I will come to that in the next slides. In the center, there is hypothalamus, and just below the hypothalamus, there is pituitary. So you understand this, that whether our relationships are based on lust or attraction, or they are based on long-term attachment and respect for that matter. So what I understand is, it has never been told like this, but I understand is that respect comes from oxytocin and vasopressin. So you have to decide that whether when you develop a respect towards a person, it means that your body has secreted oxytocin and vasopressin. But if you have some kind of flush towards other person, then it may be because of sex hormones or dopamine. Okay, next slide. Now, here comes the problem. Why families fail? Okay, this is what you wanted to hear. The problem is the want is there in nervous system. Okay, there is something called as want in the nervous system. Now, what is this want? This want comes because of dopamine and activation of various areas of the brains, like this ventral tegmental area, caudate area, putamen area, insula, and hippocampus, anterior cingulate gyrus. All these areas, they particularly they activate when a person is seeking novelty. Person wants creativity, and person is wanting that high level of ego, individualism. So this dopamine is the hormone which is satisfying our ego. Okay, oxytocin and vasopressin are the hormones which express our gratitude and respect. Okay, so with that understanding, we'll move on to the next slide. So this dopaminergic system is highly present in the limbic system: hypothalamus, thalamus, amygdala, hippocampus. Now, if you see here, all these, this is emotion in amygdala, and hypothalamus is about connecting all these things. Thalamus relays the information from various sensory inputs like eyes, ears, tongue, and our skin, and the smell. Okay, here smell also, this is olfactory nerve. Okay, and all these things, when they are connected, at the same time somebody is recording it and memorizing it, that is hippocampus. So whenever there will be a trigger, this hippocampus will once again run this circuit and tell us that, oh, this happened last time, that happened last time. Okay, so you should know that when to control your amygdala. Amygdala means emotions, and control the dopaminergic surge through which we respond irrationally. Okay, Mayurji, wherever you think Raghuramji can add some inputs, do pull him if possible. Okay, okay, Raghuramji, you are free to interrupt me anytime. I am anytime ready to stop. Okay.
No, you continue. I'm there.
Okay.
Listen keenly.
Yeah. So what is the function of limbic system? We understood that just now. So if you can understand, basic is survival of the animal. So here our selfishness is very, very basic. It is just like other animals. If you know that all other animals also do ahara, bhaya, nidra, maithuna, and the thing which is very high level in us is viveka. Okay, you just imagine that we know in 21st century all these functions, because of MRI, CT scans and all these things. But it was so simply and so intricately understood by our ancestors in the form of Ahara, Bhaya, Nidra, Maithun and Viveka. Just imagine. And that only always fascinates me, that how come thousands of years ago, without any technology, they were able to decipher so much of information. And that too, this information is quite refined and it takes you to the higher goal of life rather than pulling you down towards materialistic goal of life as compared to the modern medicine. Next slide. So this is what we have to understand, that we have all the animals within us. Okay, all the animals are there within us. Snake is also there, lion is also there, rat is also there, everything is there. We are in the rat race. Sometimes we become like lion, sometimes we become like snake, sometimes we become like a donkey. All the animal features are there in us. Okay, so that is because of basal ganglia, the reptilian brain, which is responsible for our survival. Okay, then our emotions, they come, and our parenting attitude that comes through the limbic system, which is like monkey brain, which is called as monkey brain. And then finally, that viveka part which I was talking about comes from the logic and the abstract thought which comes through the neocortex, that is the prefrontal cortex and all other cortices which help to interpret the things in deeper manner. Okay, animals respond in a reflex manner, humans respond after understanding and analyzing in a deep manner. Okay, so this you can see in detail later on. Main focus is on frontal lobe. There is planning, there is reasoning, there is problem solving, there is morality, there is personality, there is social skill, recognition, regulating emotions, motor functions, motor speech area, and all these things. These are all other slightly lesser amount of interest for a person who is interested in yoga and understanding the deeper working nature of our society and our personality. So this is the one which is very, very important. Okay. So prefrontal cortex, that is where, if you know, we have practice of Kapalabhati, correct? Kapala means the front of the head, and Bhati, shining. Actually, it will stimulate the frontal cortex. Okay. Now here, very important, effects of emotion on love, of love. You can see here, these images are called as functional MRIs. Okay. The functional MRI, what they do is they will calculate the blood flow in different parts of the brain. So if the blood flow is more, it will look like this. If blood flow is less, it will look like this. What does it mean? It means that when a person is not being loved, the blood supply in the brain is less, lesser areas of the brains are getting activated, and lesser connections in the brain are happening. If a person is loved, love does not mean that only male and female love. Love is about anybody. Love is about a stranger helping another stranger. That is also love. A human being loving a pet, that is also love. So love has no boundary and no limits. A human being loving plants is also love. Okay, so that we need to understand. Now coming to here, this is the point, because this is what happens generally. What happens whether we like somebody or we dislike somebody in the family? This is the point where the clashes happen within the family. So whenever you feel that you are, not able to control your dislike towards somebody, always remember your nucleus accumbens. It's a very, very tiny area, not even in a gram, but it controls your like or dislike towards a person. It is like a switch, on, off, and it is highly controlled through dopamine. Now, whenever we do meditation, I feel that we should do meditation on our nucleus accumbens, and we should chant this mantra of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, so that we will be able to like more and more people on our planet. Not only people, but also plants and animals. Because when we are dominating this ecosystem, we are seeing the hazards of it in the form of this COVID pandemic. Okay. So it's a very, I don't want to go into detail. I think Raghuramji also has to speak. Now I will come to the Gruha Kalesha. This switch on, switch off phenomenon is responsible for Gruha Kalesha. And we know that Patanjali already had spoken about Gruha Kalesha through Panchakleshas. That is avidya. Avidya means ignorance. Asmita means ego. Raga means unnecessary attachment. Dvesha means jealousy. Abhinivesha means fear. So with that understanding, I will tell that we need to have larger goals, bigger goals in our life, in the form of, first we have to do our Vyaktitva Vikas we have to do then Kutumba Vikas, that family development, then we need to do Grama Vikas, then we need to do Rashtra Vikas, and then we need to talk about Vishwa Vikas. This background picture is about what happened between India and China in 1954, where Panchashil principles of Buddhism were written on the rock near line of actual control or whatever it is. Mutual coexistence, mutual respect, mutual non-interference, equal and mutual benefit, mutual non-aggression, and peaceful coexistence. Whether that has been followed by China or not, we know all these things. So it means that theory is one thing and practical is another thing. And that is where is the difference. The execution power. We all need execution power. We don't need theory. We don't need beautiful books. We need transformation of the knowledge in the books on the field. Then only we will be able to create a better world. And only one person doing, 2% doing is not enough. Each and every person has to do their Vyaktitva Vikas, through their Kutumba Vikas, through that their Gram Vikas, through that Rashtra Vikas, and then ultimately we can reach Vishwa Vikas. I think Raghuramji can speak now. So this is one more of my video, which I have spoken about self-realization, Swami Vivekananda and yoga. And then this is for question answers. We can play this video in the end. This is a video. This we can play in the end. I would like Raghuramji to give me blessings and give his remarks about this and give his knowledge to all of us, enlighten us.
Thank you, Dr. Mayur. It was a wonderful presentation. I was not only following your presentation, also I was following the comments by the people in the chat, and there were very, very positive comments. And people are really benefited by the way that you presented all these ideas. Such a intricate subject like, for example, various aspects of brain, what functions go on there, and all that, you put it in such a simple terms, and it can really be understood by a layman very easily. And that is the most important thing that has to be done. And in spite of the fact that you have taken so much of a modern medical science knowledge and everything, but apart from that, you always had your moorings, your support on the Indian philosophy, ancient Indian wisdom. That's why you made that one comment which was so beautiful. You said that we know all these things by all the scientific development and research and all those things. But at the same time, we don't know how our ancient people have realized all those things without all these aids. It is something which is so marvelous. That is the greatness of these things of our Indian culture. Because as I said, that there were two ways of looking at the internal knowledge. That is what is the one. With the help of all these modern gadgets and all those things, that we have seen what's going on intricately at the internal, at the subtle level, at a sensitive level, what are the things that are going on. whether it is brain, whether it is various blood vessels and this and that, neurons, whatever that is going on. This is one way of getting into the subtle aspect of us. Whereas the way that our people have looked at the subtle aspect is that what is supposed to be the, grossly available for our senses is what is, they call it as loka. That means to say alokyati iti lokaha. That means what I can perceive these things. Then they also said that there is something which you cannot perceive through the sensory organ, but you should be sensitive enough to recognize that. And this is what they said, paraloka. So paraloka people think that somewhere else. It's not anywhere else, it is there within you. And that paraloka, when you go deep inside within you, that's where is Paramatma. See, this is the way that our people have said. The more and more that you look into yourself, you try to understand that what all these qualities that you said, which really binds people together, brings people from rights to responsibility, brings people from me to us, me to we, and this kind of a thing change take place. I've seen one of the videos on the TV, and that was a very beautiful video. It was from the Turkey, actually. Before Bakrid, then the dad probably brought the goat for sacrificing at the time of Bakrid, and then maybe 2-3 days that he brought that goat, and in these 3-4 days the child got so much attached to that goat. He invested all his love on the goat now. And then I saw that the dad is trying to snatch away that goat from the child, and then others are also adults for helping. This one single child all alone, crying, tears running from his eyes like the way Ganga, and then he was holding onto the goat and never let it go. So almost like 10-15 minutes of struggle. Finally, some neighbor says that, leave that goat alone. It's not. So they did not understood the child's emotion, but all that they saw only the idea that goat has to be sacrificed. Wow, when I looked at, they don't even have the wisdom like the way that child has. The child has that oneness with that. For him, the snatching away that goat or cutting away that goat is something like somebody is cutting his own limb. That was the kind of thing that we could see, that how our people could really go deep into oneself and understand that this is what our people have said. He also said one thing which will really bind people is this various aspects of good emotions. In fact, you said about this love, and you very nicely said it's not just between the man and a woman. Love is something which is much more expanding. This is what our people have given repeatedly on several things. One thing is that first thing we should recognize is love is our own nature. It's not that I have to get love from somebody else. I'm not begging for love for anybody. I give my love. I'm rich in love. Child has that love. We just spread it out. In fact, it is like the way that when you love comes out, it is like the way that the plant inside has complete fullness, and it spreads out its fullness in the form of a nice, wonderful flower. So that flower is an expression of the flower is an expression of the fullness that is not contained in the plant, and it just comes as an expression. And from the flower, then it comes the seed. Some of the seeds are there. The seed is so full that it waits one small little triggering to see that it pops out all the seeds, and it spreads out all the seeds by the various feathers and all those things. So that shows that if a plant can be so full to give out a flower, if a seed can be full that it can give a plant, I mean, look at human being. We are so much, and then we have this love, and we can give it in so many different ways. And that's what our scriptures say, that love is a common term. It manifests in different ways when it passes through different situations. Like the way sunlight is only one, but only thing is when it passes through the prism, it gives out all the 7 colors. The 7 colors are hidden inside that. The same way, our own love, when you see somebody elderly, then I develop this idea of Shraddha for them. respect for them. I feel like touching their feet. I feel like respecting them. Any elderly person anywhere, that is what is the culture that we need to do. Second thing is, when I have that love, when somebody is suffering, it manifests in the form of compassion. When I see something beautiful, the same love manifests in the form of sense of wonder. In Sanskrit, we call it as Vismaya. And Upanishad says, Vismaye Yoga Bhumikaha. The foundation for yoga is supposed to be, you have to have that attitude of Vismaya. Similarly, when the same love manifests in the form of being together, having our resting your faith in somebody, it manifests in the form of sneha. And the sneha is not an ordinary simple thing. It's something which is very important in the sense that you might have all kinds of relationship, brother relationship, father and mother and husband and wife, and all that relationship may be there, and the teacher and student. All these relationships have real richness, fulfillment, only when there is a sneha behind it. Otherwise, a relationship, husband and wife may be there. If the sneha is not there, not only that they don't enjoy, but even the children, they say, bah, I have to come back home. What is this for? So that is the kind of feeling that you have. All these things that we are naturally having it. We naturally have it. But what is that which corrupts these things? Your first starting story as a, and that is my ego. Ego is something which really separates us out. And ego is the one which breaks these things. And then love becomes a lust. And ego makes the compassion into complaint. Ego makes that whatever that you appreciate, you want to make it, possess it. So all this transformation takes place because of this simple, silly thing. That's what is ego. And ego is something which doesn't exist at all. See, you are born, you look at all the ego that people have it. It's all about the world outside. My car brings my ego, my bungalow brings my ego, my, the education qualification becomes, it's all about the world outside. It's not about you. Remove all those things, take all that external things outside, come back. That's what is the simple idea. Actually, what happens is, ego is also like a shield around you for people to enter into you. Your own wife, your own husband, your own children, forget about all those things I've seen. Your own dog will not come to you if you have ego. So they also recognize that whether there's ego playing or not. And you said, love itself is unconditional. Love does not play any condition. That's why I always give that example, which my students, many times they would have heard, but then I think it's good to hear that kind of an example, refreshing. That Mullah Nasruddin brings his dog to the vet and asks the vet, cut off the tail of this dog. Vet asks, why do you want me to cut off the tail of dog? This kind of dogs, they have this tail, very beautiful. And this dog also has a very healthy tail, looks very beautiful. Why do you want me to cut off this? There are some dogs who do not wear the tail. What is the reason? I said, no, any danger in the life of dog if you cut off the tail? I know that there is no danger. Any part you just cut it off, there is no danger for the life of dog. But as a vet, I want to know really that why do you want me to cut off the tail of the dog? He said, there's a secret between you and me. I said, what is that? He said, next month my mother-in-law is coming home. I want to remove all the welcome signs in the house. But this dog tail wags. The dog loves me and also my mother-in-law equally. Dog does not have any reservations, unconditional love. And then I want to remove that. This is how we do it. We have somehow developed a small little cocoon around our love, saying that I love this person, I don't love that. I like that, I don't like this. Arey, that's a very simple thing that we should have it. And if I can start that journey within the family, within my neighbors, within my brothers, sisters and all that, then it can spread to the whole world. I was in Doha and the children were there, all about 10, 11, 12-year-old children, and then I was supposed to interact with them, giving some idea. So, children, I need to communicate with them at their level. So I was talking about Patanjali Sutras and then Yama. I said that one of the wonderful Yama is supposed to be that ahimsa, that means non-violence. And then I asked them, what is that non-violent that you think of? Somebody said being vegetarian, somebody said I should not hurt my dog or my cat and this and that. I said, now let me tell you something which is deeper than that. He said, what is that? Many times, these are all the things physical, I don't hurt anybody, that we can take care of it. But there is another thing Patanjali thinks of it, that is, have you ever thought of how many times that you have hurt people by words? By saying some words and intentionally want to hurt them, and you say such kind of conversation. Have you ever thought about it? In fact, physically, if you hurt them, then they can brush it aside or put some ointment, it will over. But the words that you say can really go deep into them, hurt them so much. Have you ever thought of it? And how many times you would have hurt your own parents? You talk like that. Wow, this is something children could easily relate with that. Next day, one of the mothers came to me, said, last night, my daughter, she's hardly about 11, 12-year-old, everybody slept and then she went to her brother's place, and brother is about 10 years. And then she tapped him, and I was watching, what is this happening? And then she goes there, taps him, wake up, and then says, you know, today what Raghuram uncle said is something beautiful. Said what? That is, he said that in words you hurt. Then he said, yeah, in fact, even I was thinking about that, the children, because the whole story and all those things impressed them. Said, how many times you would have hurt our parents? At least let's do one thing. Between us, let us not hurt each other. We talk politely, we talk nicely, respecting each other. So actually what's happening is we respect each other. That respect is something which is very important. Many times what happens is that elders think that elders should respect the youngsters, children. And they say, first they should say namaste, then I should say namaste. Our very feeling of namaste is that I recognize the divinity within you. De namaha. That is what is the idea. If you can understand that, even before the child says namaste, I will tell him namaste. Then what happens is that now the child cannot be hurtful to me. And second thing is, child learns a lesson. This is what is something which is very important. So this way, as I said, responsibility, respectability, and love. And actually there is no question, there is no need for ego at all. And if it is that ego, we have only one ego. That is what is, we belong to a whole universe, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. That's what is our family. Nobody else has that kind of a family other than we on this planet Earth. If you can think of that, that's the most binding kind of a thing that's necessary. We create this family, health, wealth, everything is ours. So nice, wonderful topic. I really like the way that you got into the one aspect of subtlety. I talked about the Indian philosophy, the other aspect of subtlety. Thank you so much.
Dhanyavad, dhanyavad. Everybody, thank you very much for your active participation, because without you all understanding and without you all actively participating, this talks will be just like, you know, transmission or expression of my ego or his ego. We have to evolve ourselves, all of us together. Then only we can bring some beautiful changes in the society now. And let us all take this responsibility on our shoulders. Yes. Through that only we can bring these changes.
Wonderful.
Dhanyavad. Dhanyavad. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thanks so much. Thank you, Prabha, and all that have thought about such a nice topic for this kind of an introduction session. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Raghuramji, Dr. Mayur. If anyone else wants to ask a question to Raghuramji and Dr. Mayur, maybe
we are free to answer. Yes.
We have some time.
Yeah, I can't hear the voice.
Actually,
is not.
I wanted to play this video. If you permit me, I will play this video. Can I play this video, Prabhaji?
Yeah, sure, sir.
Actually, it is in Marathi, and I don't know whether the sound will come or not, but let me try. Okay. It is in Marathi. If it is not happening, then I will share the story behind it. I'll do like that.
Is that okay also? Hello, I think you got disconnected. Hello, Dr. Mayur. Maybe we can answer questions meanwhile. Somebody is
Are you
asking,
able to hear the sound?
not so great actually, Dr. Mayur. Maybe
Hello?
what we can do is maybe you share it with WhatsApp to Vijaya and she can share it to us because
Okay.
it's not clear. The audio is not clear.
Okay, I will share it with Vijayaji. No problem. No
Yeah.
problem. No problem. No problem. Please, if somebody wants to ask a question, we are happy to answer. Not a problem. Okay.
So I think somebody was asking about ego.
Yeah.
Maybe Raghuramji would like to share something about ego.
Yeah, there you go. Some question was there.
Yeah, I saw Miss Uma, somebody had asked about it. Now I'm not able to find that question.
Right. When we go back.
So maybe Raghuramji, maybe since it is about family, how ego comes in a role in bringing about this harmony in the family. Can you talk about that?
You see, harmony in the family can come, as I said, with the mutual respect and value what the other person says. Normally, what happens is that it's a child, it's somebody, then we don't really pay so much of attention and we say that I know much better than you do. You know, this is one lesson we learned from our teacher, Professor Shastri. He would listen to even a 7-8-year-old child when they have some question. When it is about the Vedanta lecture that's going on. So he pays attention to even such small little children's their question. That's what one thing that you do. Second thing is, ego is always a responsibility. Ego is not a pride. So like for example, I have an ego of a father. It's the right kind of an ego that I need to take care of my fatherly responsibility. Ego is always associated with responsibility, then it is the right kind of an ego. When ego is something which is not as a responsibility but as my pride, then that disturbs you, disturbs the others. In another thing is that when the ego is taken as a pride, then we, in the right place where we have to use our ego, we don't use it, but we use it every other place. That is what is the problem with that ego. So therefore, once you give it up this, you see, ego is that like I try to create a shell around me. Whereas the moment that I give up ego, that means to say I perform, but at the same time, I don't build a shell around me. I'm one with everybody. It's like the way that the drop becoming the ocean.
Beautiful, Raghuramji. The drop becoming an ocean, that itself is such a wonderful statement. Yes, I think as a family, like Mayurji also explained, that mutual respect, that
Yeah.
love, and rather than being so attached to the expectations, itself will bring about that harmony in the mind. I think in that way itself, it will help us to have that beautiful relationship and with compassion. So I think all parents here, I'm sure parents here, grandparents are here in this group. So many are there, and every one of us have some kind of an expectations and some kind of dislike. And Mayurji's talked about nucleus accumbens, the dislike and the like there. Yes, accumbens is what I hope I am right.
Correct. Correct.
Yes.
It is the switch. It is the switch of liking and disliking.
Yeah.
When we play with the switch, same way you play with yourself and others. You
Yeah.
like, you don't like. You like, you don't like. It's just like a game for us. Please don't make it a game.
So what happens if the switch is keeping on and off? What happens to people?
Means, see, suddenly by just looking at a person, you may develop, oh, I like this color, I don't like this color. Very basic things happen. So if
Uh-oh. Okay.
Mayur is frozen.
oh, he's wearing or she's wearing that color, that basic instinct sets in, and where you start without any knowledge, without any understanding about that person, very superficially we start liking or disliking. Correct? So that like and dislike, it should not happen at limbic system level. It should not happen at the monkey brain level. If it has to happen, it should happen at human or the viveka level. But when you are at a viveka level, automatically you are not going to dislike anybody. You are automatically going to like everybody. That is going to happen. So please, it means when you understand these three levels, no, that reptilian brain, mammalian brain, and the human brain, when you start watching yourself continuously, where am I acting, how am I acting, then automatically you will be able to take your hand away from that switch of like and dislike. Okay.
Basically, we are transcending from the animal nature
Yes.
to the
Yes.
Viveka nature.
Yes.
So not only dislikes, I think the strong likes and dislikes in everything, because we say, I love
Yes.
carrots, I dislike broccoli.
Yes. Yes.
Let me add one more sentence on that, what Mayur said. And in fact, in our scriptures, it is like that. When Patanjali says that where there is some positive kind of a thing, you do it. Other than that, udasinatacha, that means you let go. Don't have to become negative. Similarly, Bhagavad Gita also, Krishna says, Adveshta sarva bhutanam. Let there not be any dvesha. That means I hate it. See, look at the way that how easily we jump into the idea of hatred, where there is no necessary. Like, for example, you tell the child, come and have banana. On the table it is there. And that person says, I hate banana. A banana is sitting peacefully on the table. It doesn't do anything to you. And then you hate it. And then when you hate banana sitting on the table, benign way, what will you do if somebody says something? You hate him. So violence starts at that level. You can be peaceful. You don't have to be violent. That is the idea.
This, we should not like, dislike, or hate or anything at all the three levels: kaya, vacha, and manasa.
Right.
So somebody is putting in the message right now that means if we don't dislike somebody's behavioral response. See, the moment you start thinking, all the neurochemicals start changing. So it is a very difficult aspect. It is very difficult thing to practice. But once you start, then only you will become master. No, everything starts from the first step. So you start watching yourself. If you start having that dislike, if you start having that hate, try to elaborate it. Try to see what is the basis of your dislike. What is the basis? What is the cause of your dislike? If that other person is disliking you, why that person is disliking you? These two questions are always there. I dislike somebody or somebody dislikes me. So these have some basis. If their basis we know, then only through that we will be able to transcend from that reptilian or mammalian towards the human or superhuman consciousness. Okay.
Thank you, Mayurji. I think what I also understood is this: because of the strong likes and dislikes, we itself have put some criteria. This is what it is. And we expect the same criteria and we look at the other person. And when it is not matching, there is a dislike of that particular characteristic. And we start disliking. Instead of, disliking that characteristic, we also dislike that person. So it brings about so much of disharmony in the mind. I hate that person. So when we look at that person itself, it brings about a himsa thought in us.
Thought.
Yes.
Learn from COVID. Learn from COVID. Because if you see COVID, everybody had so many criterias, everybody had so many plans, and COVID is failing each and every person's plan, each and every government's plan. Okay, so if it is in a negative manner, then in the same way we can change our criterias, we can change our attitude in a positive manner also. So this is a very beautiful learning point from the COVID epidemic.
Yes.
I think.
Yes. Somebody has asked, how does yoga help in activating neurocenters of the body and mind? I think that itself is a huge chapter itself to talk about, looks like, isn't it?
Yeah, many of my videos are there. Almost 160 videos are there. And I have spoken about this in detail with respect to hypertension, with respect to diabetes, with respect to food and behavior, with respect to violence. All these things I have spoken with respect to neuroscience, with respect to Patanjali Yoga Sutras, and there are practical demonstrations of yogasanas, pranayamas, and mudras. So I think that they can go through my channel and they can benefit.
I think
You know,
well, obviously we will look, Mayurji. I think more interactions like this is looks like it will be very interesting. I think
I am humbled that you invited and we could interact in such a nice way. I always see Raghuramji as like I have met him very few times, but I feel that I have met him for so many years like that. So I will be very happy to have interactions and Sanidhya of Raghuramji, not a problem.
oh, it's my pleasure.
Thank you very, very much, Raghuramji and Mayurji. And Mayurji, we absolutely enjoyed this, a glimpse of this neuroscience, such a wonderful, concept of Vasudeva Kutumbakam. And we want, let this be only the start. We really want more of your
Right.
the Jnana here from you. So whenever you are free, we would really like to connect with you and have such conversations with you. And so that public can show, we had 140 people average attending today, and I'm sure people will have hundreds of doubts. And let us know when we can have sessions with you.
No problem. No problem. Anytime.
So
Thank
let's
you.
all close the session with Om and then Shanti Mantra. Let's all close our eyes. Just reflect for a minute. Maybe some takeaway messages were there. Keep your eyes closed. I'm sure in this about 75 minutes of session, there might be some takeaway, and like Mayurji explained, the knowledge has to be applied. So what application can you do in your life after hearing this session? Close your eyes and reflect upon it for some time. And let's chant one Om. Inhale. सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Thankful for this wonderful session, being grateful for having this opportunity to hear the insights. Gently blink open your eyes.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Shubharatri. Shubharatri.
Shubharatri.